Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, it's 8 o'clock. Let's start. So let's just start by let's just land, whatever we've been doing today. Running around, working, hanging out with friends, taking care of our children, our grandchildren, whatever you've been doing. Let's just bring our mind to the same place our body is. And check your sitting position. So just remembering, if your legs are down, make sure that your ankles aren't crossed or your knees aren't crossed over. And maybe something supporting your feet. Then if you're sitting in a the regular cross-legged position, make sure your hips and your knees are comfortable. And be sitting on something fairly firm. Hands are in the Meditation Mudra, right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. Welcome, Mary Jo. And let's just lengthen our spine and imagine our spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head. Somebody is above you or behind you, very gently lengthening your spine. Let's just put some space in between those vertebrae that we've been pounding down all day. Shoulders are over the hips, and the ears, you can just, if you can, glide them back so they're somewhat aligned with the shoulders. The head's very heavy, so if it's poking forward, it then puts strain on the neck and the upper back and the shoulders, messes up your posture completely. Head is slightly tipped forward, the eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose, tip of the tongue and the roof of the mouth. Let's just relax the jaw, bring our attention to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth. Relax the back of the head, the scalp there and the occipital bone. And then relax the ears and the temples, the back of the neck, the shoulders, the upper thoracic in between the shoulder blades, and the shoulder blades themselves, the throat. Relax your chest and belly, and limbs, hands, fingers, feet and toes. Let's just bring the mind to the breath, noticing the sensation of the air as you're breathing in, slightly cooler than the air as you're breathing out, as you're exhaling. If there are any sounds in your environment, in your home, or you can hear from outside, just try not to be distracted by those sounds. Try not to let your attention or your mind go towards the sound. Just allow it to be in the background. And the thoughts as they arise, and they will, just allow them to come and go, like a river of mental moments. And then try not to engage with them. Try not to judge your thoughts. Or create stories with the mind, or go over scenarios from the day. Just allow the thoughts to run on, keeping the mind on the breath. And let's bring to mind all the people of our life, our loved ones, the ones we care about, the ones and who love us, and we love them, and they support us. We support them. We feel protective of them. They lend us their strength. These people we call friends, loved ones, besties. And then there's kind of the enemies. These people harm you, have harmed you. You maybe don't like them. And they're in that sort of, enemies sounds like such a strong word to me. That's how it's labeled in the LAMA text. It's really the people we don't like. We have like a group of those people. And then there are strangers, people we feel completely indifferent to. We don't really know them. And one thing to consider about these three separate groups, and we have three separate kinds of feelings towards them, is that they could possibly change place at any moment. Any moment. And so just think in your own life, has there been a friend or someone you didn't like or a stranger who somehow switched places? And these people are all deserving of our equal concern because, just like us, they don't want to suffer. They want to be happy. And they have this unbelievable capacity for enlightenment. So just think we'll be doing this practice tonight, the Vajrasattva practice, for the benefit of all these people in our life and for all the, by extension, for all the sentient beings. And we can think of all those people in Ukraine and Poland and Russia who are suffering now horribly. So just bring the mind back to the breath and remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically just a psychological one. We're just doing psychology on ourselves. And we create negativity with our mind, so we will be creating positivity by doing this practice to counteract it. And hello, Naina. So the first of the four opponent powers is the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you've done to any living being to harm them on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech that have harmed others, and then in general regret them all. And the reason to regret is based on the logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we are going to create suffering for ourselves in the future, and we don't want that. So before any more suffering ripens, we want to pull those, it would just make sense, to pull those karmic seeds out before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret the anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and think I'm sick of this suffering. Then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So where can I get help with this? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we rely upon the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. So we're not asking Buddha Vajrasattva to forgive. And visualize Vajrasattva. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher, your Lama, your trusted mentor, manifesting in this Buddha Vajrasattva aspect for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, almost like a hologram, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud. And this is just like our enlightened potential, born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. And Buddha Vajrasattva has this beautiful, radiant, youthful yet ageless face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for us. He has this sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. He's wearing a 5-pointed crown and it's embedded with jewels. Also, all of this is made of light. And he's wearing jewelry on his ears, around his neck and waist and arms and wrists and ankles. And he's wearing these beautiful celestial robes in the Royal Indian style and scarves, and it's all just kind of floating and billowing in the wind, all made of light. He has an aura around his head and around his body, an aura of light. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a Vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents a union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us. And think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past. And then, in general, perhaps all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And try and generate in your mind a strong wish for them to no longer suffer, for them to be free from suffering, developing a compassionate heart towards them. And then there's those who have harmed us, although maybe a little bit more difficult. Develop a compassionate heart towards them, because the harm that they've caused you will ripen as future suffering for them. So I think for the sake of all these sentient beings, I must purify for their sake. So here we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the recitation and then visualization. So first of all is the purification of the body. And imagine Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful white nectar, kind of like coming out of a hose quite forcefully from his heart. It arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being, any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And it pours out of you, it disappears into space, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebalwa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sutame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebalwa Sutokaya Mebalwa Supokaya Mebalwa Anarakta Mebawa Sabasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So next is a purification of the speech, and again Guru Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body. Except this time forces up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech, and that overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So it's just kind of in the same way as when you're going to have a dirty glass, maybe an old glass of milk with bits and pieces in it. You fill it up in the sink and it just kind of overflows from the glass and disappears down the drain. So in this case, all the kind of the gunk of the negativity of your speech actually kind of is forced out of the top parts of your body, except quite strongly. So as I've been saying, Lama Rinpoche would say, as if the same force as if the wind was blowing a hat off your head. So you can imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by the powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine that it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech. So as soon as somebody hears your voice, it benefits their mind. So the next is a purification of the mind, and Guru Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. And it's the same as when you walk into a dark room, you switch on a light, that light dispels the darkness instantly. So it's the same here. The minute the light from Guru Vajrasattva heart touches your heart, all the negativity of your mind, the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your depression and anxiety, attachment and neediness, not feeling like you're enough, the anger and jealousy and bitterness, all these kinds of fairly heavy, very disturbing emotions, all instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Savasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sidam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Savasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sidam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Savasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Savasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Savasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Savasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Savasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of our own suffering, all of our own suffering, and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So the next is a purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. And we can do, if you wish, a couple of mantras each for the body, speech and mind visualization, or you can just imagine light and nectar pouring into you from Vajrasattva's heart and filling you completely and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Savasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Savasidi Mempiyatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mudza Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa supakaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa supakaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa supakaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa supakaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me piyatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama me mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahom pe. So now feel you are completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So next we come to the power of resolve. And as some of you have been doing, just continuing to work on certain things of the body, speech and mind. But first of all, really rejoice in the efforts that you've been making over this past year or more now. And for those of you who have just joined, however long you've been coming, just notice, has there been a change? Are you finding one particular habit just not popping up quite so much? So if that's starting to happen, you're starting to notice, really rejoice in your own efforts, because it's only coming from you. And then think now again, just renew our vow to ourselves. I will not do X, Y, and Z for overnight while I'm sleeping, and that definitely you will, because you'll be fast asleep, so you won't be creating any negative karma there. Or if that's not going to happen for you, you can think for 5 seconds, I'll refrain from doing this thing. So this kind of aspiration, this wish to want to refrain from harming is kind of what gives us the courage and the strength to change. So to conclude, imagine Guru Vajrasattva, your Lama, is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind. He melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And Lama Yeshe used to call this union oneness. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the 3 circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So just for a moment, place your mind in that emptiness. Just for a little while, you can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that perhaps the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, the positive energy we've created this evening together doing this purification to all living beings, thinking may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings as quickly as possible. And our long life prayers, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serves as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjanas' victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers, honouring the three jewels, savour of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. And Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe-Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, everyone. Thank you very much, Mary. Thank you.